Hello, welcome to day 16 of the Yoga Advent Calendar. We're going to be moving today. We're going to be having a look at that movement in a sun salutation, a vinyasa, from plank, lowering down, and then inhaling up to cobra or upward facing dog. So there's never enough time in a class to go through this in the intricate detail. I'm going to try and do it right now. There are loads of different variations, different options, depending on what you want to get out of it, what you want to strengthen. So I'll try and cram in as much as I can, but as always, please don't hesitate to email me, call me, whatever you like, to get something that would suit your body the best. So what it generally looks like is a high plank, and then you lower down. You can drop your knees, you lower down in a straight line onto the belly, and then inhale to a cobra. That's one option. There's the other option where you lower down with straight legs, you hover in Chattaranga, and then you inhale to upward facing dog. And I think this is the one that a few people have messaged and asked me to break down. But in order to do that, we need to do the drop knee version first. So let's come into a high plank. Shoulders are over the wrists, and drop your knees down because we're going to be here a little while. So what I want to really focus on is this movement of lowering down in one straight line. So often in a yoga class, the teacher will cue elbows in. I don't cue that anymore because what it does in my body is make my shoulders come forward, which is what we don't want. We want the chest open as you're coming down. I know. So you're on your hands and knees. Take the knees further away as if you've done a plank and dropped your knees. You want that feeling as you lower down that rather than the shoulders coming forward, the shoulders drawing back as you lower down so that the hips and then the shoulders will land at the same time. Once you're down, if you can lift your shoulders up anymore, then they weren't back far enough to begin with. So let's try it again. As you're lowering down, imagine that the shoulder blades are squeezing together. Lower down, lower down. Once you're down, if you can lift your shoulders up once you're down, then you're wrong. What we're trying to avoid is the shoulders coming down. Because what that means is if you're lowering down, as I used to, come down like this, you're asking these tiny muscles here at the front of the shoulder to bear all the weight of your whole body. And if you come down with the shoulders back and the chest open, then you've got the big muscles supporting your weight. And then that's why a lot of yogis will have rotator cuff issues, or if you press here and it's very tender, it is in mine actually still, then chances are you're asking these tiny muscles to hold you up, and it's not really fair on them. So a nice way to get used to that feeling is to bring your arms forward, push the hands forward. This is the forward feeling we don't want. Draw the shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades. That's the feeling you do want. So it's not cat and cow, we're not moving the spine, we're moving just the shoulders. So try and lock your ribs in place. Imagine you're pushing something away from you, and then the opposite movement. So it's quite a tricky one to get and describe, but once you've got it, it will change your Chattaranga completely. So you can always come back and watch and practice again, but let's try now with the knees off the floor. Try and sink the chest, so squeeze the shoulder blades, lower down, slowly, slowly, slowly. If it means you end up doing a controlled belly flop, that's fine, because you're using the correct muscles and they will eventually strengthen. What we don't want is this kind of rippling down action, because that's not, and you end up with your shoulders up in your ears. So slowly lower down, body's in a straight line. If you can hover, then you're bringing the chest forward and rolling onto the toes. So that's another action, this rolling onto the toes forwards and backwards. So it takes a little bit of getting used to rocking forwards and backwards on your toes. It feels weird. If your toenails are long, it hurts. So some people simply just step over onto their feet. Some people kind of go over the little toes, but that just felt really weird on my ankles. So it's a real personal thing. But the main thing to take away from this is to keep your chest open as you lower down. So you can either do it with your knees on the ground. Let's practice one more time. So chest and hips, open the chest, lower yourself down. If you belly flop, it's fine. If you can lift the shoulders any further, they weren't back far enough. Inhale to cobra. Try with knees off the floor. Doesn't matter if it's a controlled belly flop, keep the body straight. Come on to the toes, open the chest. And then take your bum to your heels. Take a deep breath in child's pose. I hope that was useful. If in doubt, practice this. That was a lot to cram in. I've gone over time. I'm sorry, this was a nearly 6-minute one. Sorry, false advertising. See you tomorrow.